Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Dream Fluffs and today I have a SpeedPaint tutorial for you all today. A few of you have left a comment requesting a tutorial, specifically how I've done the water on my latest drawing, so let's get started. So to start with this drawing, I've used a reference for it. So one day I was just scrolling around on TikTok and I stumbled across this creator. I think she goes by Here Again. And I don't know, when I saw that picture, I was just so mesmerized by how beautiful she looked in it, and I was like, yes, I have to draw this when I have the time. So what I really liked about the picture is how ethereal it looked, and I really wanted to capture that, especially how the lights bounce off of the water and onto her, which I'll get into more later. So I started with a basic sketch to get the general pose and worked my way to try to capture the arch, the way she's sitting in the water, because it would also be important for later because of how the light is hitting her. It's very direct sunlight, which it creates really harsh shadows, as you can see in the reference, so it was very important to capture that. So I continued with the line art and I started the coloring process where I just blocked out all the important colors. At first I just eyeballed them, and later on I used the picture as a reference and adjusted, for example, her skin tone later. But first of all, it was important to get the general shadows right because of how harsh they are. So I went over the skin and tried to mimic how the light from the water would bounce onto her skin. So because the shadows are so harsh, it's important not to be afraid to go as dark as possible to achieve that effect. But that's that. And moving on to the water, I had a layer that represented the water where I had her top half exposed and the rest covered and under the water layer. So I used a blue color in exclusive layer mode, but I'm sure you could play around with it and see whichever one achieves a similar color look. But after that, after I finished rendering her character, I merged all the layers together and just had one single layer with her. And so that would allow me to smudge her dress underwater to achieve this warped look where the water ripples would kind of go into her. And then I would add these water lines and also highlight effects that mimic all the different reflections. And one keynote, I really struggled with the background. That was really challenging for me because I had no idea how to approach it, but I just did it the old-fashioned way and just like the dot by dots for the pebbles in the river. And then I just made the background on top more dark to help her stand out, and added a few bouncing lights on her head and some places in the water to help achieve this ethereal look, where I used this light blue color and just played with the layer settings and then applied chromatic aberration to add more dimensions in it. And I just also later on added more details in the water for different light effects. And then I just did a few final touches where I fixed her hair strands in the water and tried to make them look more flowy, and added a few more light effects. For example, in the earrings, I made them more shiny. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching and sticking around, and I hope this was somewhat informative. I know it's not too detailed, but I hope it brought some insight into how I did the water in the background and the drawing in general. And with that, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!